Hello, stamping friends. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey. Happy Monday. It's Monday, June 5th. And so we have time for a Facebook Live today. So Saturday, I participated in a blog hop. I think it was Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. And we were all supposed to do partial die cutting, which I posted this for you to see, but it's kind of hard to understand until you see it. So what you do is stamp and then cut, you die cut and then create your card. It's not hard, it's just you have to do a little thinking about what you want to do. And if you remember the circle pop-out card that I did, that's technically partial die cutting. It's just a different, depends on the die you use. And this one here, I used the Irresistible Blooms, and I used the large flower here and then stamped the leaves after I die cut it. I used the word hello, and you can see I did that with heat embossing because I wanted it shiny. So I stamped it in Berry Burst and then clear embossing powder on top because I thought it would show prettier on this DSP. So today I'm going to show you how this works with a different stamp set. But let's go back to this one for just a minute. If you were looking for this stamp set, it's not in the catalog. It's one of our online exclusives. And our online exclusives, if you look in the catalog, you'll see, if you look online, excuse me, you'll see a tab for online exclusives. And those are stamps and products that will not be in the catalog, and won't show up in the catalog, but they're online. And this is one of those. The paper that goes with this is also an online exclusive. There's several online exclusives that you might want to check out because we can't get everything in the catalog. The catalog would weigh 10 pounds and you wouldn't like that. So we'll put that to the side, and I'm going to show you how this works today with Cheerful Daisies. And so it'll make a brighter Cheerful Daisy card. And we're going to change it around a little bit. Let's see if I can pull that off, because I'm not real sure. We'll see. Now, you can have your partial die cut be on, if you want a traditional fold card, you can have it on the side, or you can have it here on the side, or you can have it at the bottom. It depends on, what your goal is with your card. And so I had a stack of long cards with the top fold already created, so I'm going to use that. But I'm going to have my card go this way, and the daisy's going to go over here. And so then it will open this way. So we'll see how that works. So of course this time, I posted some blue daisies the other day. I'm going to do a real yellow daisy today. Even though most daisies are white, aren't they? And then have a little yellow color to them, or yellow centers. But the sentiment, you also want to be thinking about your sentiment. Do you want it to be on the inside, or do you want it to be on the outside? And how, so I'm thinking I want mine here on the inside. So my daisy tip needs to allow for that kind of room for this large sentiment that's sending hugs. And that's from the new Love something Leaves, Lovely Leaves, I believe is what the name of that stamp set is. I should have looked at it. It was on my desk, that's why I'm using it. I had it on my desk today. Now, I personally think when you're doing this, it kind of looks nice for it to be off-centered, not in the middle of your card. But so off-centered here. And then it's going to leave the space here for my sentiment. This is stamped with Daffodil Delight for the background of the daisy. And then I'm going to do the fill-in of the daisy with Lemon Lolly. Let's see, there's that stamp, and we need to line it up. This one's not too hard to line up, I don't think. Kind of, this little petal here makes it kind of easy. Let's see if we got that fairly straight. Ooh, magic. Huh. Now the trick will be our die cutting. So we're going to go ahead and put this on here. Put our daisy die on. And make sure it's lined up pretty good. I wish this would fit in the mini cut and emboss. It's harder, to me it's harder to use the big cut and emboss on the camera, but we're going to do that anyway. So I'm going to put the big cut and emboss up here. Now the trick is, when you run this through the cut and emboss machine, you only want the top plate to be where you want to cut. I can't show you that two things at one time. So when you run this through, you're only going to let the plate go right there. Does that make sense? And that way it will only cut this end of the daisy. And now we'll try that. You won't run both layers of your card through though. Just your top layer. I need one of those cameras where you can make it go up and down. I don't have that. So. I also need to be able to reach the handle on my cut and emboss machine, so I'm going to move that around a little bit. I think that'll do it. Oh, you know what? I did think about this, though, to make this a little easier. We're going to use the small plate. We're using the big machine, but we can use the small plate. And that works so much easier than trying to line that big plate up. I'd totally forgotten about that. Now we'll run this through. I know you can't see this right now, but you will in a minute. And you're going to see that come out with just the half of a daisy cut. Now we'll pull that out, get this out of the way. Now you see it just cut that much of the daisy. Move that plate out of the way. I'm glad I remembered that little plate. So even if you don't have a mini cut and emboss machine, you could just order the plates if you wanted to be able to do this. Now we're just going to guess here and draw some lines of where we're going to do our trimming, and once we put it in the trimmer, we'll probably change it a little bit. Let's put our stamp. I think that's going to work there. This doesn't have to match. The angle can be a little different, but this one looks like it's fairly close. We're going to double check again. That's going to work. And now when we put this in the trimmer, we're only going to cut those little spaces. And if we don't get it exactly right, we have an eraser to take care of that. You can feel when it gets to the cut, it'll make a little pop sound, kind of. And if you can't get it directly on there, you can always snip the little extra part off. Now that came out pretty, didn't it? This is going to be so pretty. Now I don't cut the inside piece until I've created my card, because you might need to do some adjustment with your inside piece, with your angles and your sentiment. So this one looks like, I think I'm going to be able to just cut a 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece. And that's going to work just fine. We need to get some Night of Navy ink. Well, I thought it was on my desk, and I don't see it. Oh, there it is. I just think Night of Navy would be a little softer than Basic Black. We'll check and see, though. We can stamp on here in a minute. But let's go ahead and finish our daisy up. We need to put the little spot in the center. I didn't want to do that until we had stamped it and cut it, because if it messed up, I come back and redo it. And I think it would look really pretty to give this daisy some dimension. So we're going to use our markers and just do a little extra shading on here. I think it kind of makes it pop a little bit. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to. And of course we need our daisy leaves. Now that makes it look a little more three-dimensional. And of course we have to put a little Wink of Stella on here too. Because I like the sparkle. There we go. Now we're going to use the leaf and some Granny Apple Parakeet Party. Wasn't sure what color I had out here, apparently. Let's erase our pencil, because we might want to stamp there. There we go. No. Woo! Glad that didn't get there. So let's see. We'll put a leaf here. Maybe one here. And our last one here. That looks pretty. I wonder if we should put 2. No, I better leave it alone. All right. Let's practice our sentiment that says sending hugs. See if it looks better in blue or black. Definitely blue. I just wanted to be able to read it, but not be harsh. See, I'm going to cover up where I dropped that ink, so that's perfect. That's going to work, so let's hope we can do this without messing up. I love this sentiment. It's so large, and it's got that nice straight line at the bottom. I think it makes it a little easier to get it straight. Now we can go ahead and adhere this to the inside. Poke a pin in here and get this going. There we go. Make sure you don't put it in there upside down. I've been known to do things like that. Oh, isn't that pretty? Now we need a place to write our message. That also I wait to cut because you need to know where your angle is going to go. So we can kind of guess there, and we know to cut just a tiny bit less than that angle there. We'll just pop that in the trimmer. And I can't see my pencil mark. That's craziness, isn't it? Let's try it again. Oh, that's my pencil mark. I thought it was closer to the edge. So it's almost 3.5, but not 2.5, but not quite. But each card will be a little different depending on where you stamp the image that you're die cutting. Now when we put this on the inside here, we'll have room for a message and it won't peek through. Put that, let's see, is that about right? Yep, we'll put that right there. You know, somebody could use a hug today. It would be a good all-around card to have in your stash. Okay, Do your fingers get full of ink like mine do? It's crazy. I just get ink on everything. Now, I didn't put a ribbon on the other card, but I just thought this pretty parakeet party ribbon, or this might be lemon lime twist, but it's close. Yeah, it's certainly close enough. If we would put a bow on this one, and I actually think it's tiny. It's thin, and I like that, but I'm kind of thinking I might run it through around twice. I'm not sure. Yeah. So let's measure this. This looks like it's about 24 inches to make sure you have enough. But if you just run it one time, you can do, you know, it depends on the ribbon. If this was wide ribbon, I would only run it one time, because then it'd be too bulky. Need a little more. And a little more. Let's, there. That's going to do it. I think having the bow down here, since the flower's up there. Let's get our tweezers. And we'll tie our bow. Now we probably put a little glue dot under there to anchor it. And I'm gonna let those divided pieces ribbon show. I'll fluff that up. Fluff this up, trim that end off. Oh, that's so bright and cheery. It's what somebody needs when they need a hug. And of course now we need some bling. I'm beginning to think this is my favorite bling of all time, because I like the sparkle. And I just use it over and over again. So we're gonna put some bling here. We're gonna really bling this one up. And we'll put some over there. Now we left a space here. We can put some more bling. And of course, I think we'll put another one over here. I think we'll put a little one up here. Lots of bling on this card. Now, actually, that didn't take too long at all, did it? The hardest part was me getting the cut and emboss machine on the camera. That's the trickiest part. So there's our pretty little card. I'm going to put a glue dot right there. Now, if you don't like that this shows through just a little bit, you can die cut another flower and stick it in there. It does not bother me, because it's only showing because we use the blends. And you'll see that here, when we use the blends, it bled through, but that doesn't bother me either. It just shows that it is a handcrafted card. So depending on how you choose to do which direction you do your card, your partial die cutting will be totally different, depending on how you do it. I hope you'll try this and post a card on my page that you tried with this technique. I would love to see what you create. I think you could do it with flowers, you could do it with labels, you could do it with birds. There's so many things that you could partial die cut, and as long as it, match, it is not too large. So share with me. I'm always interested in seeing what you create. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna pop a die cut in there, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching today. Bye.